These days, life can get pretty hectic. Maybe there's a game you're genuinely curious about, but you just don't have the time to play. Maybe you're excited about the sequel, but don't feel like playing the original. Maybe you've already played the game, but just need to get refreshed on all the details. Trust me, I understand. That's why I'm here today with another game plot summary. Today, I'll be giving you the entire plot of The Forest, summed up in under 10 minutes with all the relevant lore attached as well, so that you can enjoy Sons of the Forest when it finally comes out to the fullest extent. So, without any further ado, craft your effigies, prep your creepy armor, and let's go! You hop into the body of Eric LeBlanc inside of an airplane headed, somewhere. Information on it suggests it might be going from New York to Germany, together with your currently sleeping son Timmy. Your wife isn't joining you since she unfortunately died sometime in the past. Everything is looking jolly when the plane suddenly enters some mild turbulence, which quickly turns into major turbulence, which quickly turns into Jesus, did the wind just break off? And the plane crashes, rendering everything dark. You wake up on the floor to a bizarre sight. The unconscious body of your son is being taken away by a mysterious figure covered in red paint. You try to crawl towards them, but unfortunately pass out again before you can manage anything. Finally waking up, you collect yourself off the floor to discover the plane broken in half with all of the crew dead. You scour the plane for any potential supplies, you get your axe from the very nice flight attendant, and the forest officially begins. Now you're stranded on a peninsula covered in lakes, rivers, mountains, and, you guessed it, forests tasked with the simple goal of finding Timmy. Unsurprisingly, this goal turns out to be anything but simple, as you struggle with even basic survival such as getting food or water, though truth be told, you soon realize that's actually the least of your concerns. So you're not alone on this peninsula, no, in fact it is somewhat densely populated, which would normally be great if all of the population were an angry cannibal mutants who would want nothing more than to turn you into a week's worth of human McNuggets. As if it weren't bad enough, even stronger mutants sometimes appear among them, crazy amalgamations of bodies and limbs, which they will gladly detach from your body if you're not careful. In order to survive in these harsh conditions, you'll need to utilize your crafting skills. Maybe you'll build a fire pit. Maybe you'll build a small shelter. Maybe you'll build a gazebo, or maybe even just all three. I mean, who's there to stop you? Nevertheless, you explore the world, delve into caves, and learn more information about previous groups of people that have been unfortunate enough as in to wind up there, and eventually, you'll discover a cave that leads deeper than all of the rest. One that takes you all the way down to the bottom of the mysterious pit found in the middle of the map. At the end of it, just as you start encountering these strange wall structures, suddenly, out of nowhere, a solid vault door appears in front of you. Using a keycard, you make the reader turn green, and the massive door opens up, finally revealing the truth behind this game's story: Sahara Therapeutics. As you delve into a pristine-looking maze of laboratories, you uncover the truth about a corporation which originally bought the peninsula to study ways in which youth and human lifespan could be extended, using a set of curious artifacts which were supposedly found on the island by one of the previous researcher groups, and perhaps even worshipped by whatever civilization might have lived there before that. Objects which possessed unnatural properties, left behind by aliens or an unknown civilization, that much isn't known. However, they quickly discovered that by studying and utilizing them, they could achieve miraculous things, among which, the craziest one perhaps, was the ability to bring dead things back to life using the fittingly dubbed Resurrection Obelisk. With this device, Sahara started taking children and experimenting on them, observing whichever mutations occurred, hoping they could break the curse of aging. But, unsurprisingly, everything did not go as planned. At one point, something seemingly terrible went down, a mutant uprising perhaps, which resulted in the death of almost all scientists and personnel working at this facility, as well as one young girl named Megan Cross. This girl was the daughter of Matthew Cross, one of the scientists working on the Jarvis project, directly interacting with the Resurrection Obelisk. Obviously, he couldn't deal with her loss, which is why he manually activated another one of the artifacts found on the island, the Power Obelisk, which caused an EMP-like blast shooting down your plane at the start of the game. His hope was that he'd be able to retrieve a living member of the crew, whose life could later be exchanged for that of his daughter inside the obelisk. That's why he's seen taking Timmy at the start of the game. As it usually happens though, trying to bring back people from the dead carries a lifetime of baggage, Literally, since his life came to a very quick end after that. When you finally reach the room with the resurrection obelisk, you can find him in the corner, stabbed to death with crayons, a fate brought upon him by his mutated, resurrected daughter. You open up the obelisk to find Timmy's dead body. It seems all hope is lost, but then, an idea. If the girl could be resurrected, perhaps so could he. You hook him up to the machine and follow a trail of small bloody footprints until you reach a large white room. This is where you find Megan, turned into a cannibal, playing with a toy airplane. Interacting with her, however, triggers something even worse. A horrid mutant body emerges from inside her, and suddenly, you're face to face with the final boss of the game. After slaying it, you grab Megan's lifeless body and hold it back towards the obelisk. Unfortunately, she can no longer be used as the artifact requires a live sample. She does, however, drop a golden keycard, which unlocks the only other door in the room. After a bit of extra cave traversal, you reach an elevator. Take it, and you'll emerge into a pristine modern hallway, which eventually leads you to the main control room of the facility, right under the massive power artifact. There, you're faced with a choice. Activate the obelisk, bringing down another plane in order to revive Timmy, or accept his death, end the vicious cycle, and move on. Two choices, which will lead to two different endings. Should you choose to shut down the whole operation, you exit the facility, burn the picture of Timmy, and see that planes are now safely flying overhead. Should you, however, choose not to, you'll activate the obelisk, which causes another plane to crash, and everything turns black. When you come back to, some time had passed and you're being interviewed by a late-night show host about your miraculous survival, together with live Timmy, who's acting a bit strange. When you're asked to give a demonstration with the axe, it seemingly triggers something in Timmy, similar to what happened to Megan, but you're able to calm him down before any transformation occurs. The final scene leaves us with adult Timmy, who's living in an apartment somewhere in a city, struggling to resist the transformation, even all these years later. But that brings us to the end of the story, so I hope you guys enjoyed and feel fully caught up and refreshed on the story of this game, especially moving into the sequel. If you liked this video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated. And if there's anything that you think is important but I missed it, please make sure to leave that down in the comments as well. I would very much like to read it. Now with that, I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.